want to do a little bit of a different video today. So, I love doing all these video essay type things and stuff like that, but sometimes it's kind of cool just to relax and just talk about comics more casually. Today's topic is the comic collection. Big or small, the comic collection is a really cool way to look at person's tastes and kind of figure out who they are, what they like. Are they more into the classics or newer stuff? They like some sort of, more independent stuff. Or, more Marvel-y, I guess. I'm doing this for a few reasons. One, it's just kind of fun talking about comics and stuff, and who doesn't like talking about what they're passionate about? Two, sort of gives you guys as viewers the chance to sort of if there's any sort of thing you want me to make a video on in the future, you can let me know. Any one of these things right here, I could make a video on that. And, it's not just a show off or anything like that, that's not my intention here, it's just to have a good time, and maybe for you guys to learn a little more about me as well, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to go through all of these in great detail, but I will, just sort of pull them out and talk about them just for a little bit. Some of them may be a little longer than others, but starting off here, we've got this very cool. These Marvel Masterwork books are awesome. They're nice collections of classic Marvel stuff. You're going to be seeing a few of those here, but we have the first volume of Iron Man. Yes, this is all of the classic stuff right there. I don't know how many issues it has, but it has all of these, so I guess it has 9 issues maybe. But it has, the classic Tales of Suspense, original Iron Man stories. I got this because I was writing an Iron Man audio drama, and I wanted to sort of go back to basics and everything with that, so it's his origin and everything. A lot of these stuff I get at secondhand stores. I highly recommend if you're looking to get a lot of comics very fast, or just a lot of cool comics and stuff like that for a very cheap price. Secondhand stores. I mean, this is in really nice condition. Some stuff is a little used and everything, but even still, I mean, I'd rather have a used comic than, a lot of used comics and a few new comics and everything like that. So yeah, it works out. And you never know what you'll find there too. I mean, I found so many gems. I would not have most of this stuff if it weren't for secondhand stores. So yes, I'm very broke, all right? Mostly because I have all of this, but also it's that's how you do it. Anyways, here's something I've had for quite a while. It is this cool. They made these cool Marvel collections of Marvel's firsts, and they went throughout the decades and everything. Here's the '60s, which is obviously a very prolific era for Marvel. You've got Thor there, you got Spider-Man, you got, speaking of Iron Man, he's right there. You got Human Torch there with the Fantastic Four, and you've got Ant-Man there. So I don't really remember what all this has, but it has a really cool collection. There's some of the stuff that it has. It has the classic Avengers stuff. It's got, Amazing Fantasy. You've got Journey into Mystery with Thor and some Fantastic Four stuff. That guy might look familiar. He was he's in a movie recently. I don't know what movie. Thunderbolts? I don't know. Anyways, I've also had this for a while. So I remember getting this at Toys R Us when I was a kid and everything, and I read the heck out of it. It's just a cool collection of Marvel comics. It's spanning back, pretty far with some monster stuff and everything like that, and some Cap, and moving forward and everything. I don't know what the most recent thing is in here. I think Demon in the Bottle is in there and everything, so that's kind of cool. But it's a very cool collection. I don't really get a lot of these compilation sort of books, but they are nice to have have a piece of Marvel history and everything like that. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if I've actually read this, but as you can see, who could resist a comic for $5? What are you talking about? Of course I'm going to buy that. Even if it's the worst comic ever made, I'm oh, it's $5. I mean, I got it, right? Here's the thing, it was actually $9. They're no, screw that, it's $5. So they were going at it. I don't know if I've read this, so I don't really, but it's cool. A cool collection of, I'm guessing, superhero team-ups from Marvel. Maybe. That's just a guess, Don't quote me on that. I've not read this either, I don't think, but I also got this secondhand. This is, First to Last. It's this cool, I guess, a look back at, some, classic, it's a classic era, styled X-Men book. And it's written by a pretty awesome writer, Christopher Yost, who wrote For the Dark World. But he also wrote Earth's Mightiest Heroes. There you go. I saved it. Anyways, X-Men Days of Future Past. Here's the funny thing that sometimes people don't realize that have never read the comic. X-Men Days of Future Past is a 2-issue arc. This is not X-Men Days of Future Past. It's X-Men Days of Future Past with the stuff leading up to it and the stuff after. Which is great. I mean, Chris Claremont is obviously one of the greatest X-Men writers of all time. He was on the book for like 12 years. I mean, you know, you better hope he's great at being on there that long. But this is such a classic. The original comic is great. The most accurate adaptation is probably the animated series, which is not fully accurate. They all do their own thing, which I think is great about the story. They're really building off of it and the original idea and stuff like that. Very, very cool idea. Very inspired. Love all this stuff too. This is an era of X-Men that really changes things. You know, the original team and everything is kind of broken up. You know, Scott's like, nah, screw this, man, I'm out of here. Jean is dead. So you're left with Wolverine. You've got Kitty Pryde, who's a newcomer here, so she's sort of the audience perspective. You have Nightcrawler, you have Colossus, and you have Professor X. So the mansion almost feels a little lonelier, but it's really great. I love it. There's a lot of good story there. There's some really funny stuff. There's a bit where Wolverine. Where Nightcrawler is trying to impress Wolverine, and he gets some lemonade, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, bub. Except I don't like lemonade." It's actually hilarious. I think about it like all the time. That's true. I'm not even making that up. I had a few of these as a kid. These are like the essential collections and stuff. These are great. These are so cheap because they're printed in black and white on the newsprint. But you get like so much story for like, I don't even know how much this was, maybe like $20, and like it's a lot of X-Men. So this was pretty cool. I had this as a kid. I don't really know what all this collects. I think it's like 70s, maybe 80s X-Men and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I think there's probably some Claremont stuff in there. I think giant-sized X-Men is in there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if Days of Future Past is. I don't really know the number. It's like 100. I don't know. Let's not go. We don't gotta get into the minutiae of things. But if you ever see one of these, it's a pretty cool thing. DC did it as well. I have a Silver Age Batman book that's not on my shelf. It's in a box somewhere. But anyways, these are really cool. If you ever want to read a lot of stories for very cheap. Bingo. I don't know how much they are now, but they're probably still pretty cheap. They don't make them anymore, but you could probably find them somewhere. We just talked about this. This is Wolverine the Brotherhood. Fantastic book, fantastic. One of my all-time favorite Wolverine books, and honestly, one of my favorite books just in general. It really is such a good read. I highly recommend it. It's very emotionally charged. It's really cool. Look into who Wolverine is as a person, and the artwork, I mean, come on, you know, it perfectly matches the story. And then here is the second volume, which is Coyote Crossing. It's pretty good. It's not nearly as good as the Brotherhood, but it's still within that same vein, and I still found myself enjoying it. It is shorter. The twist is great, so it's still got some juicy stuff there. I don't have the third volume, which I believe is The Return of the Native. I almost got it one day at my comic shop, and when I went back, I was like, I'm gonna get it, and then they didn't have it. So one day, I'll probably read it. This one is especially special for me in regards to this channel. This is the first video that I ever made in this channel, talking about Avengers Twilight. The first video that I wrote actually was Rorschach, but the first one that I made was Twilight, because I wanted to really put a lot into Rorschach. So it took me more time, and I did the whole comic though, which takes up half the video. It's okay. So it was very fun. The person that I worked with was amazing. I mean, what can I say about this that I haven't already said? It really is quite an impressive Marvel book. Chip Zdarsky's era with Marvel right now is fantastic. Probably some of his best work with Marvel is happening right now with not only Captain America, but also Avengers Twilight. So really, really good stuff. One of the best books from Marvel in recent years. Which in some cases is not saying a lot, but there still is good stuff happening in Marvel, alright? So don't talk to me about that, alright? It's alright, we're doing okay, things are fine, a little bit, mostly. Anyways though, Avengers vs. X-Men, I was really big into this when it came out in like, what was that, 2015? No, it couldn't have been 2015, it's probably 2017, I don't know. But I was big into that. Now, I'm not a big events book person, honestly. I haven't read this in a while, so maybe this is like way better than I remembered it being, but I don't really, I have a lot of apathy for it. I'm not really that interested in it, to be honest. But I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's got lots of cool moments and stuff like that, but I'm much more of a grounded type person, man. I mean, I'd rather read Wolverine the Brotherhood than like an event comic, to be honest. But there's some good events, don't get me wrong. Now this, however, is one that I do like. This is a tie-in for Avengers vs. X-Men. I don't know what the I stands for in this. What actually does any of this stand for? I don't know. But they called it Axis, and it's cool. So you flip it. Ooh, you know, it's still the same. Wow. They went hard with the graphic design in that one, I guess. But this is a cool one. So I believe the story is that the villains are now heroes, quote unquote heroes. And yeah, this is the two spin-offs of Avengers vs. X-Men, Carnage and Hobgoblin. Both of them are 3 issues long. The Carnage one is interesting. The Hobgoblin one is the one that I really like. I like this one a lot. This is the thing that really made me appreciate Hobgoblin. So basically what it is the main man, what's his name, Roger Kingsley. Was that his name, Roger Kingsley? The main man, Green Hobgoblin, he rents out his appearance as Hobgoblin to other people, and they do stuff heroically and everything. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm a big Bendis fan, so I have a lot of Bendis stuff. I don't have his Avengers stuff except for Disassembled, but it's a prequel to House of M, so I may as well read it. It's pretty good. The final issue, the final issue is quite good. The rest of it is good. It's good. Very emotionally charged once again. Really surprising story for the Avengers and everything. There's not a lot to it, but it is an interesting read. So, and of course it leads into House of M, so that's also an important factor too. If you want to read House of M, probably should start there. But it's good. It's quite a surprising book for X-Men or for Avengers, and it definitely changes some stuff. House of M. I don't know. I hear varied things about this from people. I don't know. I like it though. I like it. All right. I think it's pretty great. It's got some really good stuff. I mean, God, like Peter can never catch a break, right? In this book, especially, like, oh God, please, somebody help him, man, please. But obviously, this is the basis for, or one of the bases for Doctor Strange 2. So you go over to that juice in there. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting story, like this sort of alternate dimension and everything, like seeing all these characters in different contexts and whatnot. Sorry. And sort of building off of that. It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm a big Bendis fan, so I can't fault him for this. The Captain America tie-in for this is quite good too, written by Ed Brubaker. The Ed Brubaker run was going on at the same time, so good stuff. This era of Marvel was great. When Bendis was king, whew, things were looking nice. Bendis may not be perfect, but dang it, in his heyday, he was fantastic. All right. Speaking of Bendis, we don't have Bendis here, but we have the follow-up to Earth X, yes, to House of M. This is the Children's Crusade. I got this as a kid when I was a children crusading, I guess. And I didn't even realize, it's like, wait a second, this connects to that. You know, it's sort of like the redemption and everything of Wanda and everything, and yeah, it sort of wraps up some loose ends and stuff like that, and changes some things and everything. Because the ending of House of M is pretty shocking, honestly, if you've never read it before. It's like, oh, they're like, all right, we're not fixing that. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, anyways, I've not read it in quite a while, so I don't really remember that much about it, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Remember when I said you'd see more Masterworks? Here they are. We got Spider-Man. What is this one? If this be my destiny. This is the classic Master Planner arc. Great stuff. Really great stuff. Great early Spider-Man. I do love early Spider-Man quite a bit. Just has such a nice classic feel to it and charm, but it has some wholesomeness to it. It has some meaning, has some emotions, but it's a really well written book. You know, artwork by Steve Ditko. This is when John Romita, I believe, is starting to transition into doing this. Then we have this is the 4th volume, and I never got the rest of them. So I have read the first issues of Spider-Man though, but I don't have them, so don't question me. And this, of course, is Spider-Man No More, another great one too. This is volume 5. This is when John Romita Sr. is fully invested in Spider-Man. You know, Steve Ditko is out, and now it's Mr. JRSR, who is one of my favorite artists of all time in comics. So amazing stuff. It's called Amazing Spider-Man for a reason. Alright, please. This is the only Epic collection that I have. I have Kraven's Last Hunt. It is phenomenal, of course. This is such a cool one. If I had to recommend like any Epic collection, I mean, this is the one that I have, so what else am I doing? No, but obviously there's some great X-Men stuff. Any of the Chris Claremont X-Men stuff, I mean, come on. And Peter David, you know, rest in peace, a legend. Hulk, I mean, of course, fantastic. But there's some great Spider-Man stuff too, like the modern Epic collection with J. Michael Straczynski. I mean, perfect. And the Daredevil stuff too. There's Ed Brubaker and Brian Michael Bendis. Both of those fantastic. Highly recommend. But if you're looking to get into Epic Collection, this is a really good one to go with. Not only is it Kraven's Last Son and ends of Kraven's Last Son, but it's sort of the build-up for that too. You get the classic Hobgoblin stuff with Ned Leeds. You get Spider-Man versus Wolverine, and you get the Return of the Spider Slayer, and you get the wedding issue too. So it's really just packed full of stuff, and you get a great Spider-Man annual about Iron Man 2020, who doesn't work anymore because 2020 is now in the past and not the future. So take that. Whoever, I don't know who wrote that. It wasn't Stanley, but take that, person. But yeah, that's great stuff. It looks amazing too. The printing on that is fantastic. Spoilers, I'm gonna be doing a video on this pretty soon. But Doc Ock Year 1. Yes, you see that right. Yep. I know. Hold on. It actually is quite good. This is really good stuff. It feels very literature-esque. It's very much like, this is all literature obviously, but it really feels like higher concept stuff, which I think is really good and very well written too. I know, it was surprising to me too, but he actually knows how to do stuff sometimes. But Doc Ock Year 1, if you're a Spider-Man fan, I mean, come on. You gotta check that out, right? You can check it out right now. You can do it. I only have the first volume and the third volume of Ultimate Spider-Man, so don't judge me. I don't know. I had those as a kid. I'm not sure why, but I never got the blue one in the middle, volume 2. But that's okay. I'll just pretend that I did. I mean, come on, it's Ultimate Spider-Man. What can I say about it? Jessica Jones, love Jessica Jones. Some of Brian Michael Bendis' best work ever. I've got the original Alias series, volumes 1 through 4. We talked about the Pulse on the channel already. Got that there. Fantastic, really good stuff. The follow-up series, which is in the early 10s or mid 10s, I'd say, is like, what was it, 2014 or something, or later than that, 2017. I don't remember when it was, but it was around the time of the Netflix series, because there are some variant covers with Kristen Ritter in there. But anyways, it's pretty good. The first volume is pretty good. The second volume is pretty good. The third volume, though. Yeah, that's a good ending right there. That's the last thing that Brian Michael Bendis did with Jessica Jones in her own series, which is sad. She deserves another series. There's a few other stuff. There's Kelly Thompson stuff, which I haven't read yet, but sounds pretty good. They used to be digital-only comics, but now they are printed, which is great. I love printed comics. I've read digital comics before, and it's good, but I just much prefer just having them in my hand and stuff, and feeling like I actually own them, you know? And then you also have Gail Simone's The Variants, which came out in, I believe, 2020, so she hasn't had a solo series since then, but they made a book, an actual physical novel, about Jessica Jones, so I've not read that, but I'd love to read it. It sounds interesting. I mean, out of all the Marvel characters, she seems like the one that would easily be adapted into a novel, so fantastic character. Like, she only existed since the early thousands, which is crazy. and wow, she's a really good character. If you've never read a Jessica Jones comic, I highly recommend checking out Alias. Some of Brian Michael Bendis' best work, as I said, and it's really good stuff. The artwork is good. It only gets better from here. It starts off a little rough, maybe, but I think purposefully so as well. You know, sort of the style of it. But it does get better, so stick with it. It's really good. This is my favorite comic of all time. I probably won't do a video on it. I mean, there's already been a lot of stuff that, you know, you've probably, like, if you're at least a little bit into comics, you've probably heard how good this is, and there's no lies there. It is really phenomenal. I read it pretty much every year. I'm thinking about rereading it soon. I'm not sure when. I've got, like, we're gonna look at the backlog in a second. But, yeah, what I would be interested in doing a video on, and I will when I reread it as it goes deep into the abyss, is this. This is actually an interesting format. This is like pre-Marvel, like pre-compact comic. Like, this is what Marvel did before. It's really good. It doesn't really, like, it's smaller, as you can see here, both in, like, height and length. There we go, that's the word. Listen, it's almost midnight. I'm not even joking right now. But yes, this is the follow-up series to Matt Fraction and David Aja's Hawkeye. Nobody pronounces his name right, by the way. It's David Aja. He's Spanish. It's not David Aja. Get out of here. Anyways, though. Yeah, this is phenomenal. This is really good. I really want to make a video on it, so I won't say much about it, but It's really good. Here we go, Warriors Free. This is sort of a random poll here. I like the Warriors Free quite a bit. Nobody really cares about them, but I care about them. Taika Waititi surely didn't care about them when he killed them. But anyways, I'm still not salty about. I'm not salty, man. You're salty. Anyways, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't really remember too much about it. I remember like the Great Wolf. What is his name? Fenrir. I don't know. That's in there, and there's like some Earth stuff and everything. It's pretty cool. I liked it. It's an enjoyable time. It's not anything that'd be like, oh, I gotta read this every year, every day. But it's fun. I liked it. I mentioned this in the compact comic, or the which one? I think it was the Marvel ranking one. Yeah, it was in the Marvel premiere ranking. J. Michael Straczynski's Thor. Oh, it's really good. It's really good. The artwork is fantastic. The writing, I mean, of course, I mean, come on, it's JMS, come on. It's so good. Just the vibes are impeccable. I love that. I've got the first 2 volumes. There's a 3rd volume, but J. Michael Straczynski leaves after, I think, and I don't know. But I'll probably read it one day, but I mean, yeah, it's so good. That's the 2nd volume right there. More good Thor right here. You've got Jason Aaron's Thor, the God Butcher stuff, and the God Bomb, the sequel to that. Fantastic. The movie Glove and Thunder did not do this justice even remotely. It's some of the best Thor. These 2 books right here, this and this, even if you don't like Thor, these 2, I mean, they're just perfect. They're must-reads in my eyes. Deadpool, this is a childhood comic for me. I read the heck out of this as a kid. Maybe it's the reason why I am the way I am today, why I'm so messed up. But this is Daniel Way, fantastic Deadpool writer. Is he the best one? No, I'd probably have to give that to Joe Kelly, maybe. I don't know, but he's still quite good. This is really fun. If you're looking for just a fun time with Deadpool, Daniel Way is definitely, well, the way to go, as they say. Artwork is pretty nice too. I don't remember too much. I remember a lot of like random stuff that happens, and I don't really remember like the full like shebang. But I think this is like, yeah, around the time of like Secret Invasion and stuff like that. So you get some Skrull stuff, I believe. But yeah, I have the 2nd volume. I don't know where it is though. But yeah, this is a childhood comic, and I loved it. I've not read it since. I've sort of picked through it a little bit here and there, but I should reread it one day. Maybe we'll do a video on it. I don't know. I'm really interested in Cody Ziglar's Deadpool. I've heard some good stuff about it. I heard it's much more emotional and everything, which I think is cool. So I've been tempted to pick it up. The 1st volume is out for the trade, so it's been tempting. What can I say? I'm not really like a super big Deadpool guy. I enjoy Deadpool. I like the movies and stuff like that. I've read some of the comics, of course. But he's fun. He's not my go-to, but he's fun. This is Deadpool Team Up. Just a bunch of random like Deadpool comics where he's like teaming up with different heroes and stuff like that. The Thor one is pretty funny. I remember that one. I don't really remember what else is in here, but it's cool. It's a cool little like companion piece. I think this is Captain America: Theater of War. I mean, look at that cover. That's so cool. Written by the fabulous Paul Jenkins. I've probably read this like when I was a kid. I don't really remember it that much, but it's something I'd love to revisit because there's a lot of people always talk about Ed Brubaker. I mean, for good reason, yeah. But there's not a lot of like other Cap comics that people talk about, so I'd love to like explore more and like see what else there is out there. And this seems pretty cool. World War II Captain America comic. Here's another really great comic that sometimes people talk about. The Roger Stern, Captain America, and Joe Stern Byrne, War and Remembrance. Quite good. I think it's from the 80s, maybe? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But the art is really good. It's very, very classic comic book. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Definitely one of the best Captain America comics. And then, I mean, obviously, we gotta talk about Captain America. It is 50% off. 50% off America, I guess. But yeah, this is generally one of my favorite comics. Sort of my introduction to Ed Brubaker. It lives up to everything and then some. Underrated issue in this comic is the Jack Monroe one. It's like one of the most depressing comics I've ever read. It's really good. I think it's like issue 9. I don't know when it is exactly, but It's great. It's really good. I mean, I can't say much more about that. Here's the sequel to that, which is Red Menace. Quite good too. This all leads up to Civil War. The next arc after this is a pre-Civil War arc, and then the book changes a little bit for some reason after Civil War. I don't know why, but I had this for a very long time as a kid. This is like one of the oldest comics that I had, and I never realized that it was part of the Ed Brubaker run until I was looking for my comics one day. I was like, wait, that what? Hold on, Ed Brubaker. I actually do have. Let me know. Should I do a video of like all of my loose comics? I have like a bunch of floppies as well, single issue comics. That I'm only doing the trades for this video, but I do have some I do have some of the Ed Brubaker Captain America trades, or sorry, not trades. I mean, trades as well, obviously. But I do have some. I have some like really random like floppies and stuff that are kind of interesting. Like I have some stuff from post Civil War Ed Brubaker Cap. And I actually have some stuff from JMS's 4 too, which is interesting. All that stuff that I got as a kid, I just didn't really. As a kid, I just read comics like, oh, hey, Thor, I want to read that, and everything. I didn't really care about the numbers, what number it was, like where they were in the story. I just wanted to read it. So that's changed a little bit now, but I mean, come on. You gotta have fun as a kid. Here's the classic Secret Wars. One day I hope to like organize this a little better when I have like more space. I'm running out of space, which is ironic because my name is Space, but this is sort of like we're getting into like the larger Marvel events stuff right here. So that's sort of the theme here. I try to organize stuff by like characters and stuff like that, and I guess for this larger theme, this is a classic, of course, written by the late and great Jim Shooter. Fantastic art. I forgot, there's somebody that did art. I think it's Mike, what's his name, Zek? Is that his name, Mike Zek? The person that did the artwork for Kraven's Last Hunt also does some of the art for this, and it's really good. Fantastic artist. Once again, a very classic comic feel to it. This is just fun. This feels like Jim Shooter got a box of Marvel action figures and just having the time of his life doing it. He's got some really cool Doom stuff and everything too. Some hard as heck moments. It's a fun time. If you've never read the original Secret Wars, I mean, now's the time to do it, right? I mean, the movie's coming up soon, man. You got a little time, but not that much time. Another one of my favorites, Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross. Probably wouldn't do a video on this because I mean, what is there left to say? Everyone knows about Marvels. Really cool, sort of retelling of a lot of like classic era Marvel and sort of building up and sort of interesting like perspective of superheroes and everything, and how it gets a little more jaded as it goes on. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's very picturesque with Alex Ross's just stunning artwork and everything. It's very realistic artwork, and just the story is phenomenal too. So, and it's jam-packed with references. If you're ever like looking to get into Marvel, this is a really good book to get into. It's almost a reference book in a way, and its ability to retell Marvel stories in a very meaningful way is fantastic. The Gwen Stacy stuff here and the later in this book, perfect. Anyways, underrated larger events. Secret War by Brian Michael Bendis. It's pretty good. I think I read this as a kid, but I could never find my volume because all this looks so familiar to me when I reread it. I think that was this year. Yeah, this year. Pretty cool. The idea is that Nick Fury sort of captures these heroes and makes them do this sort of like crazy secret mission, and then he like brainwashes them so they don't remember it, but then like the past like sort of leaks into their present. They're like, wait, what's going on? So it's really interesting. It's interesting stuff. The ending is pretty good. I believe this is also, I don't know if this is the introduction to Quake, aka Daisy Johnson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she is also a Bendis character. I think it might be possibly her first appearance, but that's a cool use of her character in this too. I mean, I gotta have Civil War. I think Civil War is pretty good. I respect it. We talked about this in the Marvel premiere video, ranking video, if you haven't seen that. But it's not my favorite. I kind of want to reread it. I don't know. I liked it when I read it as a kid, but I don't know if I'd like it as much as I did then. But it's still good. It has some interesting ideas and stuff. It's probably one of Mark Millar's best works, if not one of his best works, but definitely his best Marvel work, I would say. So, I mean, there you go, right? You did something, right? Speaking of Bendis, I've had this for quite a while too, an early. Actually, here's how old I am. When I started reading comics, Secret Invasion was just starting, so I don't have any of those issues, unfortunately. I'm sure they're probably worth like quite a bit, but I started reading comics when Secret Invasion was happening, so yes, I've been reading comics for that long. But good stuff, good stuff. I don't really remember the comic that well. I have read it before. I should reread it as well, but it's a cool concept. I think it's really like a really great concept that can be used in a lot of cool ways. I think the best adaptation is still Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That's a perfect adaptation of that. But the mini series in the MCU, we don't gotta talk about that. We're just gonna put that back. Here is the new Secret Wars by Jonathan Hickman. I read this when shortly after it came out, and I never collected it, sadly. But I have a tie-in. I think I have the Red Skull tie-in, which is really interesting stuff. I was looking for my comics, like, what is this? I was like, oh, this is a Red Skull like Secret Wars tie-in. What? But I don't remember what happens in that. But the covers are pretty freaking cool, man, for that one. They go hard, like unreasonably, at an unreasonable level. Like, why is this so hard? This is a nonsense. Okay, Jonathan Hickman is quite a fantastic writer. His writing for Doom is so good. This is a very big Doom book. A lot of good Doom stuff in there. The artwork is pretty good. There's a little funky faces sometimes, but I mean, it still gets the job done. It really portrays the story well. Love a lot of the aspects of this. I love the idea of this battle world being created by these two Earths coming together, and Doom sort of shaping them into one battle world. Obviously, taking inspiration from the original Secret Wars. You get God Emperor Doom, you get the Thors as like the law enforcement, you get Doctor Strange as the deputy sheriff guy, and a lot of cool stuff in there, man. It's some good stuff. I'm very excited for the movie. Hopefully it turns out well. And then here's Secret Invasion. I did not read this when it came out. I was reading Ultimate Spider-Man. I was like, I should go back. And I'm glad I did, because I like Secret Invasion quite a bit. I like Ultimate Invasion quite a bit. I think it's cool, and of course it sets up the Ultimate Universe and its path where it is now with the Maker and everything. It's very focused on Howard Stark, which I like. I find that a lot of like the really good event stories, they have an ensemble cast, but they really like hone in on like very specific characters. And in this instance, there's a lot of like Howard Stark stuff in there. Obviously a lot of Maker stuff too, because he's kind of a big character too. I will be making video on this eventually too. I might reread it before then, but Jed MacKay's Moon Knight is phenomenal. Easily one of the greatest and most consistent Marvel runs in quite a while. I dare say it's still one of the best Marvel runs. It's been running for 4 years, and there's literally been not a single issue I was like, that was okay. I was like, they all have been really good. Jed MacKay is still one of the best Marvel writers working right now. He's fantastic. I'd love to see what you do for DC, but I'm glad that Marvel has him. So I have the first 4. There are 5 volumes. I still have not bought the 5th volume. I started reading. When I started reading these were the only 2 that were out, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So I have the rest of them in floppy covers and single issues. And then I just bought these just to have them, so that it would be a lot easier than like pulling out all the, all the single issues and stuff like that. Yeah, there's also, of course, the sequel is Vengeance of the Moon Knight, and we're currently on Fist of Khonshu, which is fantastic too. I'm not caught up. I have the newest 2 issues, but I haven't read them yet. But I sort of like building up a backlog. But recent favorite of mine as well. We've got some Miss Marvel stuff. These are also the Marvel compact comics before Premiere, basically. They did this for a lot of stuff. They did this for Champions, they did this for Miles Morales, they did this for Spider-Man, or Mary Jane Loves Spider-Man, or whichever way it is, I forget. But really fun stuff. Sort of almost like a slice of life for Marvel, which I think is very fun. They're just so much fun. So good. I just really love them. I read them on Marvel Unlimited. I was like, I gotta get these because I won't have Marvel Unlimited forever. So I'm glad that I did, because they are just so much fun. If you're looking for a really fun Marvel comic that sort of like has some relatability and stuff like that, and it's just a good time. It's not like there's drama and stuff like that. This is the way to go. It's also cool because it also ties into Secret Wars, and it ties into Civil War 2. Hold on, wait a second. It ties into Civil War 2 in a very meaningful way that makes Civil War 2 somehow somewhat better. I wouldn't say Civil War 2 is but the Miss Marvel tie-ins for Civil War 2 are the single best things to ever happen to Civil War 2. It actually is really good. So don't. I was gonna say don't sleep on this. Let's just move on to the next shelf. Let's not talk about anything. I mean, obviously I have Watchmen. I mean, I'm pretty sure your grandma has Watchmen. I mean, it's a classic. I don't love it as much as everybody does. It's not my favorite comic of all time, but I recognize its importance, and I think it still is quite good. The reading, the prose of it, I think are phenomenal. The artwork by, Dave Gibbons is really good too. I think it all just works hand in hand together to make a truly iconic story. So I really appreciate it a lot, and I'm glad that I read it. It is worth the read. If you only read it once, then there you go, you've read it. So I think it's something that every comic fan should read. I mentioned this in our DC Compact comic ranking. I would not recommend this as like the starting point for somebody if you want to get into comics. Do not read Watchmen first. That's terrible. But once you've sort of gotten acclimated to comics, then there you go. Comics on here that I recommend to start with: Miss Marvel, definitely. Hawkeye, you really get to see what the medium can do. Jessica Jones as well is a great introduction to the Marvel universe from like an outsider perspective. So yeah, it's good stuff. We're gonna speed up a little bit because it's like midnight and my camera is actually close to dying. But I guess I went a little too crazy with the comics. But anyways, Rorschach. This is an interesting one to read right now, but I still stand by the fact that it is a very interesting book, and it really was like one of the books that has stayed with me for. I just want to reread it again, honestly. I think that'd be really fun, but it is fascinating. It is easily one of the most thought-provoking books that I've ever read. Not even just comic books. It's really thought-provoking, and it's I think it's the best sequel to Watchmen, honestly. The miniseries is also great too, but Rorschach. I love it. But remember when I was talking about Marvel Essential, we've got another one here. This is the classic Daredevil stuff. This is the first stuff with Bill Everett and Sam Lee for Daredevil. I'm a big Daredevil fan, so I got a lot of Daredevil here. We've got Daredevil Yo, a sort of retelling of the classic years of Daredevil through the lens of Matt looking back at his wife, with Karen and everything like that. So I think that's cool. I mean, Born Again. I mean, come on, what can I say about Born Again you haven't heard before? Guardian Devil. These two, of course, like Guardian Devil and Born Again, were sort of the basis for Daredevil season 3. This is very fundamental Daredevil stuff here, written by Kevin Smith too, which is cool. Here we have one of the Bendis trade paperbacks for Daredevil. I don't think I've read this actually, but I'd love to read Bendis's book, or Bendis's Daredevil. I'm familiar with it. I know how it ends and stuff like that, and how Ed Brubaker continues it and everything. But I've not actually read through it personally, all the way myself. So I'd love to one day, because it is really good stuff. All right, here we have, what is this? I don't really know what this is. the Diggle Daredevil. I don't fully know what this is, to be honest, but here we have a little bit of Ed Brubaker's Daredevil. This is the Daredevil that I grew up with. When I started reading comics, he was the one that was doing Daredevil, and he did some phenomenal things. The Lady Bullseye arc was the first thing that I read from Daredevil, so it was really fundamental in my understanding of Daredevil. And then Mark Waid came around, and he became my Daredevil. This is the stuff that I started with, the Ed Brubaker stuff, which is fantastic. Artwork is really, really stunning. I think Michael Ork did the artwork there. But yeah, Mark Waid was my Daredevil. I kept up with it every month, and I was really a very avid Daredevil, Mark Waid Daredevil reader. People misunderstand this arc, or misunderstand Mark Waid's Daredevil. I think it's gotten better over the years, but his work is really just, it's phenomenal. It takes a more lighthearted approach, more adventurous and swashbuckling like the original classic 60s Daredevil, but that is a twist in the book of why it is like that, and it is great. And people that criticize it for being too lighthearted have not read all of it, so they are wrong. But it is quite good. Chris Samnee's art is fantastic too. His work, Waid and Samnee's work together is really great stuff. I mean, freaking Black Widow. Their Black Widow comic is fantastic. Another great book. I don't have it, but it's really good. I've read all of it twice. But anyways, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. Really great too. I will say that I do like Brubaker and from what I've read of Bendis's more, but Chip Zdarsky's is still quite good. This first volume is a really good start to the run. Devil's Reign, finally read this recently. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not my favorite. Probably one of the weakest parts of the Daredevil run, but it's still enjoyable. I mean, artwork by Marco Trichetto. You get to see Marco Trichetto draw a lot of different Marvel characters. That's fun. Not too big on Jessica Jones in this, as far as how she's drawn. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm saying this in, like, the least sexist way possible, but Jessica Jones is not meant to be, like, traditionally beautiful, but she kind of, like, is drawn that way in here, so it feels kind of weird. Like, she looks like a normal person, you know? She's beautiful in her own way, but I don't know, I didn't really... I didn't love that, but it was still great seeing her in here, so I can't fault them for that. I have not... I don't really remember too much about Shadowland, to be honest. I know the basic idea and stuff like that, but I read it like so many years ago, so I don't really remember. Remember what I was talking about Zeb Wells? There's another Zeb Wells comic in here. It's he wrote the spin-off story for Elektra, so there we go. There's the Zeb Wells connection you're looking for. Who is this? This is Benson. Moon Knight. Listen, Moon Knight only got good when in the modern era with Warren Ellis, which is unfortunate. Warren Ellis is a piece of garbage, but he's a good writer, alright? His work on The Authority is amazing. His work on Moon Knight is fantastic. One of my personal favorite Moon Knight... Oh, as I was saying before my camera decided to die. It's about to die in just a second. But yeah, Moon Knight, yeah, was really pretty... The early thousands were not the best for Moon Knight. I like Bendis, but his Moon Knight stuff, no. And this is it's fine. It's fine. We can just ignore that. I don't really remember this one. This is Ghost Rider. This is Jason Aaron's Ghost Rider, or Ghost Riders, which has, I believe, Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze. So that's pretty cool. I've been meaning to look back into that. Here we have John Romita Jr. There we go. Black Panther. I don't think I've read this one either, sadly. I'm a big Bendis defender, and I recently played the Guardians of the Galaxy game. I think it was either last year or this year. No, it was this year, yeah. And I was like, yeah, let's get some more Guardians. It's like, I remember really liking Bendis' stuff because I read it as a kid when it was first coming out and everything. And the first issue was quite good. I think it's issue 0 or 0.1, or I don't know what the heck he was doing there. But it's okay. It's pretty good. It's not the best Guardians, but it's okay. It's alright. Alright, so here we have Captain Marvel, Secret Invasion, the Secret Invasion tie-in. Do I remember this? No, I don't. Next time that I read Secret Invasion, I should go back and read this. I also have another Secret Invasion tie-in that we'll get into pretty soon. But yeah, this is one of the few. I don't have a lot of hardcovers in my collection. I don't really love hardcovers. I much prefer like the more soft paperback instead of that. But we do have a few. I mean, obviously War and Remembrance. We have some of the Daredevil stuff, Rorschach, and then that. I think that's it, actually. Yeah, it is. Speaking of Secret Invasion, Ultimate Fantastic Four, the Secret Invasion title. No, okay. This is the only Ultimate Fantastic Four that I have. It's volume number 9, so I'm a little behind, right? I don't really remember this one either. Some of these I got as a kid, and I either like read them or I didn't, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and then just put it on the shelf. So it'll be cool to like go back and read everything that I haven't read in my collection. I've read mostly everything, like all the stuff that basically everything on the top shelf I've read, and I think pretty much everything on here I've read too, except for that. So there we go. Here is the classic volume of Deadpool. Pretty cool stuff. I think the classic stuff is pretty good. I much prefer, like, you know, I obviously grew up with the Daniel Way stuff, so that's sort of like my jam and everything. That's like my go-to Deadpool is more like, you know, of that era. But yeah, you know, the stuff here is still pretty good, and you know, this of course is like the beginning of Deadpool's appearances. You know, of course it has the first issue that he appears in with New Mutants, and then it stretches on from there and everything. I don't know if it has any solo stuff, but yeah, this is pretty cool. In fact, actually it does. Let's see, what does it say on the back? Yeah, the first volume of the first appearance of him, New Mutants. Deadpool, the Circle Chase, and then some other Deadpool stuff. Yeah, it's got a little bit of the Joe Kelly stuff. Apparently, I didn't realize this, but Mark Waid apparently also wrote some of that too. That's fun. So there we go. Yeah, Deadpool. They have more classic volumes than this. I think they have like some more Joe Kelly stuff and everything. But I'm kind of tempted to get like an epic collection of Deadpool one day with the Joe Kelly stuff. But here is my pride and joy of the collection. All of this Image stuff was not here last year, so I feel pretty good about that. I've really expanded my horizons and been reading Criminal. Of course, we did a video on Coward, which is amazing. When I first read it, I was like, nothing can top this, man. This is great. And then I read Wallace, like, okay. And then I read everything else, like, okay. But Coward is still great. It's a great start to the series. It's fascinating, too, because they don't really revisit this very often. There's, like, a very rare occasion where they do revisit it, and it's cool when they do. But, yeah, it's good stuff. I even got some more Criminal than just what's on the shelf. We'll see in a second. I've got a little backlog we'll be talking about too. And then I also have, you won't really see a lot of DC stuff. We saw Watchmen and Rorschach over there, but I have a separate shelf for DC, so there we go. So I'm running out of space. I don't have room for all that DC stuff, man. It's huge. We also did a video on Lawless as well, which was fun. This is still one of my favorite volumes after reading all of these. There's still a lot of great stuff, but Lawless is just fantastic. What I'm going to be doing in the future, instead of doing a video for every volume, I'm going to be doing a big Criminal video, which will be coming out early next year, because we also have, there's one volume I don't have yet. They're re-releasing it at the end, or I think it's either beginning or the end of November. It's called Bad Weekend. It's only a 2-issue arc, I believe, so I mean that's going to be easy to read, but it'll be fun. And that means it's cheaper too. It's only $14, which is great. That's less than Marvel Premiere, look at that. But it only has 2 issues, so I mean, but anyways, and apparently they're going to be releasing a giant-sized Criminal issue that comes out the end of the year, so that's really exciting. They just released a Criminal book. We'll see it in a second. It's big. But they're like, no, we need to make more, and I'm glad they did. So I'm going to do a big recap on all things Criminal, so that'll be very fun. So look forward to that next year, early next year, as soon as I read all of this stuff. But I've read the rest of the volumes, all the stuff on here, all the Criminal stuff, all the Image stuff on here, I should say, I have read. So there we go. Dead and the Dying, pretty good, one of the lower rated ones for me, but really interesting. The cool thing about this is it's 3 stories that all sort of connect by one character, so you get to see 3 different characters and everything, and sort of how their lives have been impacted by this one particular character, so I thought that was a cool thing to do. And this one also backfills some stuff too. It focuses on 2 characters that we've seen before in the prior, or either seen or heard of before in the prior issues, so that's pretty cool. Bad Night's probably my lowest rated one, but it's still quite good too. It's very unique. This feels like a turning point for the series. Like after this, the series really changes quite a bit, so I do like that. And so I buy comics from Barnes & Noble sometimes, so you get the points, you can like redeem them. I redeemed them recently. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but anyways, the funny thing is, this is the only volume of Criminal they have at my Barnes & Noble, and it's the worst one. It's still great, though. Here we have The Sinners, not to be confused with Sinners, the movie. This is a follow-up to Lawless. It's quite good, too. A close second to Lawless, in my opinion, definitely one of the highest ones. And here is probably my favorite one. This one is wild, The Last of the Innocent. It's sort of described as like Archie when they grow up, but not Riverdale. This is what Riverdale could have been. It's deeply messed up, but also very funny too. So it's like a dark comedy. It's really good. If you don't read any Criminal but this one, you're missing out on a lot. But this one is a really good one. It's definitely my favorite one. I think about it a lot. Such an interesting one. The art as well is really cool too, because like for the flashbacks, it's meant to like sort of dissect the Archie archetypes and everything like that. So the flashbacks are very much drawn in like that classic like Archie look and stuff. It's really cool. So that's fun. This one is great. Wrong time, wrong place. Probably one of the saddest ones. Maybe the saddest one is probably still The Dead and the Dying, the 3rd volume. But this one, man, it's a good time though. This is really brilliant. It's probably it has like two of the best characters in the series right here, and really looking in them and everything. This one is cool too because it also has like this fake comic inside, so like the fake comic is drawn much differently than the real comic, you know, the real story. So it's really cool, and the story of the comic sort of matches, of course, the story of the what's going on in the comic. You know what I mean? The meta context and everything like that. It's pretty cool. Anyways, here's the last one that I read. All my heroes have always been junkies. Try remembering that name, huh? No, but this one is fascinating. This one's really interesting. The rest of these some of these were released as single issues, and this is all collected together. But this one was released as a little like comic novella, so it's all just one story. There's no single issues or anything like that. I didn't read it all at once, but it's pretty easy to read all at once because I think it's like 89 pages or something, so it's not very long. But yeah, this one, the ending is really fascinating, and this is really just like such an interesting one to read, honestly. And it's the most modern one too. The rest of these like take place in like, you know, the early thousands and the tens and stuff like that. This is the one that takes place like basically in modern day, so that's cool. Anyways, here we have The Holy Roller. This is the book that Andy Samberg wrote with Rick Remender. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. It's not subtle at all, but it's pretty funny and fun, and the art is great and everything. So, you know, celebrity comics are sort of, you know, iffy sometimes, but I feel like this is definitely one of the highlights of celebrity celebrity comics. There's a lot of random ones out there, like Post Malone has got one. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a trucker like thing. I've heard it's pretty fun, but yeah, it's very interesting when like celebrities get into comics and stuff like that. But yeah, this one is good. This one's good. I liked it. I kind of considered doing a video on it. I don't know if I will, but yeah, it's pretty relevant to the things that it's sort of talking about, and sort of the ways that like you know, social media can act as like an echo chamber and sort of can be a place to spread hate and everything like that is interesting. Like I said, it's not nuanced at all. It's very like in your face, but in a good way. So if you like superheroes that are like a little Spider-Man coated and like bash people's heads in with bowling balls, I mean, what more could you ask for, right? I also have considered doing two videos on Paper Girls. One that just talks about Paper Girls, and one that talks about sort of one of the allegories that's running through it, and how it relates to Ultimate Spider-Man. So, you know, that's a video. This is like the video that I like when we were first talking about relaunching Slightly Comics. Is the video that I really was focused on. I still haven't made it yet, but one day I would like to, though. Like sort of this idea of like these two allegories and everything, and like what the comic is trying to say in like a more like modern sense and everything. So that's gonna be pretty fun. But yeah, Paper Girls is great. I wasn't fully convinced of the first volume. The first volume is quite good though. The second volume is like, okay, alright, okay. I bought all of these before. I kind of like to do this. I like to buy everything before I read it, which isn't always the best idea. But I was like, oh, did I make a mistake? And no, I didn't. So, second volume is really good. Third volume is pretty good. The fourth volume, though, this is really good. And everything else after that is really good too. 4, 5, and 6 are amazing. Really just such a good stuff. If you like Stranger Things, this is definitely would be up your alley. It gets compared to Stranger Things a lot, but it's definitely a lot different though. So we're talking about time travel and like weird reality stuff and everything that Stranger Things does not have even remotely. So like whenever the Prime show, which I haven't seen yet, I should watch it though. When the Prime show came out, people were like, oh, this is Amazon Stranger Things. Paper Girls came out first, punk. But anyways, here we have, I also have been thinking about making a video on this. This is a super underrated comic, Petrolhead. It's like Mad Max meets like Hot Wheels and stuff. It's really good. It's really good. I'm dying for that next arc. They just finished the first arc, which is issues 1 through 5, and they're like, we're doing another one. They haven't done it yet, dang it. But I keep on checking, man. I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to see what happens next. But the artwork is amazing. It's a really fun story. It's very memorable. I freaking loved it. I read the first issue. I was like, yeah, this is good. I waited for the trade, and I was not disappointed. So I read this on a vacation. I was like, oh yeah. Anyways, speaking of underrated, The Bounce. I guarantee most of you have not heard of this. It's written by Joe Casey, and guess who does the artwork? David Messina. That's the backup artist for Ultimate Spider-Man. There's even a cover in here done by Marco Cicchetto, so that's pretty cool, right? I believe it's from the early 10s, I believe, like the late thousands, early 10s. And the character is sort of like the Spider-Man analog a bit, but the story like goes into like much more deeper territory and everything. It's really a fascinating story. I don't really want to say much about it, but you should read it. It's really good. It's sort of like, you know, this guy's like a stoner and stuff like that, but he has these superpowers, and he's like, oh, I've got to do something with this, and then, you know, the world is kind of in a weird place and everything. You've got this cool character that's like trying to fix the world in like such a very convoluted but interesting way. It's very heady. It's like really high concept stuff, but it's not something that's like ununderstandable. But it's very like it's a thinking man's comic, you know what I mean? Yeah, the balance is highly underrated. I don't know if I'll do a video on it, but maybe one day. But it is worth a read. It's one of Image's finest, and one that does not get talked about nearly enough. Here we have Fantastic Four: Solve Everything. This is the only premiere edition that I have. This is good, but let me give you a cautionary tale. This is okay. This version of this comic is okay. The comic itself is great, but I actually recommend reading a different volume of, if you want to read Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, read it, man. Or get the volume that's not this, because this is trimmed down and everything. It is edited by Jonathan Hickman, so that does help, but it feels like it's too edited down as well. Like you feel like you're missing a lot and everything, so in order to get the full birth of the story, I definitely recommend, another version. But this is still a cool, if you've already read it, it's kind of like a cool, like, travel size version, I guess. But, the story is great, but the actual volume is okay, I think. I still have not collected all, I really want to read more Scott Pilgrim, but I looked around. I just need to order them online, I guess. My bookstore has 4, 5, and 6. They don't have 3, so I've been stuck with 1 and 2 for years. But quite good stuff. Scott Pilgrim used to be one of my favorite movies. It's still up there for me. It's one of those movies that as you get older, you don't, you like it a lot when you're younger, but when you get older, like, this is still good, but it's like, I don't know if it doesn't hit the same, but it's still a fun time, and I still love it and appreciate it. But it's one of those things that I wouldn't say I outgrew, but I just don't, like, I don't think it's my favorite movie, like, as much as it used to be. I was never, like, my absolute favorite movie, but I did love it a lot. I used to watch it, like, every year. And I'll still watch it this year, of course, but, but the books are quite cool, so it is a worthwhile series. These are the black and white versions. They actually do have color versions too, which is cool. I would consider checking those out, but I kind of like, I think the black and white ones are cool too. They're sort of, manga styled. Anyways, that's it with the shelf. Let's go to the backlog real quick, and then we'll look at DC, and then that's it. All right, don't judge me, all right? Don't judge me. We got a few things in the backlog, right? This is collected over, like, probably about a year or so. So let's look at this. This is what I'm currently reading. We might do a video on this. This is Umbrella Academy, the first volume, Apocalypse Suite. It's pretty good so far. The art is really fun. And I've seen this series before. The first 2 seasons are amazing. The rest, but anyways, so it's interesting going back and reading this and seeing the differences between the series and the original comic. But it is quite impressive. I love the beginning of this version in particular. I don't know if all of them do, but has a nice letter from Grant Morrison, which is a fun read too. So this is pretty cool so far. I'm looking forward to reading more. I have all of the volumes, which we'll see in a second. Listen, getting into manga is kind of hard for me because it's the style is different, because it's like the way it's written is sort of messing with my mind. I'm like, am I reading this right? But I am trying One Piece. I don't know, maybe I'll make a video on it, like my experiences with manga or something like that. I don't know. But this is the only manga that I've read so far, so I'm not very far into it either. I started reading it the other night. I was like, nah, I don't really got time for this. So, but I will read more of this, and if it catches me, then I'll probably like work my way through all of these one day. But yeah, there we go. I've been outed as a weeb now. No, but here is Dark Victory. I just recently reread Long Halloween. Spoiler alert, we're doing a video on that pretty soon. But Dark Victory is a cool follow-up. I remember not liking it as much as Long Halloween, but maybe my perspective will change rereading it, because I read this like literally like a decade ago. So I have read this before. It is really good though still. Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb are quite a great team. I've heard good things about the last Halloween, which is like the follow-up to Long Halloween years later. It's still running right now. It's ending in October, which I mean makes sense. Long Halloween, right? But yeah, this is really good stuff though. If you've never read a Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale book, you are missing out. They are great. Speaking of Jeff Loeb, here's another one of the compact comics I haven't read yet. I've only got 2 that I haven't read so far. Well, there's more that have come out that I haven't read. I haven't read Static Season 1, and I've not read, was it Harley Quinn Wild at Heart, or the New 52 Wonder Woman, but, or Deceased, so I'm a little behind. But anyways, I actually have this. It's not, you're going to see it later in the video. I didn't realize it, but I had this as a kid, so this will be interesting to revisit. I've heard some mixed things about it. Not like super like it's either good or it's bad, but like some stuff like it's good, but it has some problems. So definitely curious about it. I'm not sure when I'll read it, but probably soon. Looking forward to that, so I can prepare myself for the next next reading video. And here's the other one. We have Arkham Asylum. Speaking of Grant Morrison, right there, and Dave McKean. This is probably one of the skinniest ones, but I'm really excited for it. This is perfect for Halloween too, so I'll probably read this even sooner than I will. Batman, Superman, or Superman, whatever, you know, who cares? Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's nice horror-y and stuff like that. I think it's just like the one, like look at that art. That art is crazy. Just the one long-running comic. It's not like, I don't think it's split up into issues if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, very atmospheric, very moody art, so I'm very excited for that. Here's the other manga that I have, The Way of the House Husband. This is actually Chip Zdarsky has mentioned this a few times. He's like, all right, I'll check it out. So I've looked at it a little bit. It's pretty cool so far. So I'm looking forward to reading this. It's like a fun time. So look, I'm broadening my horizons. All right, I'm trying new stuff. I don't really read manga, so this is kind of fun. Here we have the Champions. Here's the 2 volumes. This is also the compact comic before compact comics existed. So they are cheaper too. I think they're like, let's see. Yeah, they're like 13, so they are actually even less than like the Marvel's ones right now. So there you go. And you can sometimes find them for like a good price too. Like you got this for $5, or basically $6. But yeah, I've not read these before, but I'm excited for them. They're written by Mark Waid himself, with art by Anthony Ramos, who is quite good too. He did the artwork for Greg Weisman's latest comic, Spectacular Spider-Man, which is, it's okay, but the art is pretty good in it, so I'm excited for this. You know, reading this before we get to see the Champions in the MCU, which is ironic because the Champions are meant to be like a foil to like the Avengers, or like the Avengers have failed after Civil War 2. Let's make a new team, but now they're like the Champions are the Young Avengers, so it's like, well, all right. But anyways, I also have another more of these. This is the only other ones that I have of these like non-compact comics. Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. It's very manga inspired. It's very like slice of life of MJ and sort of, you know, her life. Really looking forward to it. I have volume 2 and 3. I don't have volume 1, so that's why I haven't read it yet. But yeah, I'm excited for these. These are I've had a few people recommend these to me, so we'll probably do a video on this, I'd imagine. Once again, if there's ever anything that you want me to do a video on, let me know in the comments, and I shall. Most likely, unless I don't want to. But I'm obsessed with Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I had to get this. This is a really cool one. We will definitely be doing a video on this too. Introduction by Bill Hader as well. They made a second one to this as well, which I've heard is really good too, so I'll have to read that too. But the idea is that this supervillain is in witness protection, and he's like really bored of being, you know, just like in witness protection and everything, so he's like, but yeah, so I love Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I want to read more. I just want to read all of them, honestly. We'll probably do, like, if I ever do that, we'll probably do a ranking of all their work together, but anyways, very much looking forward to this. This is kind of a cool version of this too. It's actually a library copy that they sold, so that's kind of cool. Some people are like, oh, it's all dirty and stuff, but no, I think that's cool. It's cool having like these unique books in your collection and everything. And you also get like a little, like, there you go, Bad Nights, and this is like some like really old versions of these like trades. It's probably like the first like installment of, or first run of these trades, so that's cool. First printing, there we go, that's what I'm looking for. Buy them all and don't make me ask twice. I already did, so you don't gotta ask twice, but yeah, very much looking forward. It's gonna be really fun reading that. I don't know when I'll read that, but probably soon, honestly. Probably before the end of the year. I don't know. Here we go. This is the thing that I used my Barnes and Noble credit on. Absolute Wonder Woman. I've been looking for this for a while, and I finally found it. They finally had like 4 copies. Like, all right, I'm sold. I was gonna buy a book, but then I saw this, like, well, crap, I gotta get this, I guess. But I've read the first issue. The first issue was pretty good. It grabbed me, but I wasn't like out, running and trying to read every issue. But I've heard a lot of good things about it as it goes on and stuff like that with Absolute Superman as well. So I want to read all the Absolute books. I think they're quite good so far. And honestly, I'm starting to like them more than the Ultimate Universe, which is something I never thought I would say. But I do read Absolute Batman issue to issue. I have I have Absolute Superman, which we'll see pretty soon. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'll probably read that fairly soon too, probably in like a month or so. I just got a lot of stuff to read, man. Here's another really cool stuff. We're actually getting a compact comic of this, but I wanted to read all of it. The compact comic only has issues, I think the first 10 or 12 issues. Don't quote me on that. I know it's either 10 or 12. Ed Brubaker, woo! And also Greg Rucka. We just talked about him we just talked about this actually, even still in the most recent our discussion of Wolverine. This is a really cool book. If you like Batman a lot, or even just DC in general, this is definitely like a highly recommended book. It's pretty brilliant. So this is some cool stuff with art by Michael Ork, which we also did worked with Ed Brubaker too. So it is really good stuff. I'm excited to pick through it. And I also have volume 2. There's 4 volumes. The bookstore where I got these at has volume 1, 2, and 4, which I'll get soon. The 4th volume is about Spectre, Corrigan, so that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. But the 3rd volume they do not have, so I'll have to get that online or something, guys. I don't know. But yeah, I got these from my secondhand store. They're pretty cheap. Look at that. It's crazy. These are originally $30, by the way, so that is a steal. Very excited. We'll probably do a video on this as well, I'd imagine. Finally getting into some more Criminal. I'm trying to keep this in order because I have this in an order. Actually, the order doesn't really matter. Anyways, the point is, Cruel Summer. This is the longest running arc of Criminal. It's like, how many issues is it? Where is it? Oh, it's probably on the inside. So Image does things differently. Yeah, there you go. Issues 5 through 12. That's the longest arc in Criminal, so I'm looking forward to this. I just love Criminal so much, and they are doing a re-release of this. Like, the re-releases are the ones with like the red, like on the spine and everything, and like the red title Criminal. But they're doing a re-release of this in, I think it might be next year. So I was like, I can't wait that long, man. So I just bought the original printing of this. So and I don't know, I can't really figure this out, but it seems like the new version has just the arc, which is 5 through 12, but it doesn't have the first issue, which is not connected. It's sort of a standalone issue, but this does have the first issue. So I don't know. I could be off about that. Maybe I just don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for that. And here's the most recent one, The Knives. Look at this. They released this year, and they're like, no, we got to release more Criminal. So that's insane. But I'm excited. This features 3 characters. We finally got Tracy Wallace back from, he hasn't appeared since Sinners. Well, that's actually not true, but he hasn't appeared in modern day since Sinners, so it's been a while. You've got our cartoonist here, what's his name, Jacob Kurtzman, and then you also have, or is it Jacob Kurtz? I think it's Jacob Kurtz, not Kurtzman. And you have Angie as well, who's a very interesting character who I won't say much more about because she's an interesting one that gets expanded upon as it goes on. But yeah, this is really exciting. The cool thing about Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, they're like one of the few creators that has a blank check in the industry. They don't have to pitch their stuff to Image at all. They can make it and do basically whatever they want, and Image is like, yeah, man, because Image knows it'll sell, because people love Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I do, so even if it doesn't sell, it will sell, because I'll buy it. But anyways, here's the rest of Umbrella Academy. Dallas Gifford is the best one, which makes sense, because Season 2 was the best season of the show. And you also have a more recent one, Hotel Oblivion, which I've heard is pretty good. And it's sort of the foundation of Season 3 a bit, but Season 3 also is... after quite a while, we get to see the 4th volume, which I'm excited for, of Umbrella Academy, which is called The Sparrow Academy, which is sort of what Season 3 is also inspired by too. So very much looking forward to that. It's currently running right now, so I think it ends next year, but I will definitely get the trade when that comes out. But anyways, Here's the Sentry. I thought about doing a video on this as well. Might be a little late. You know, I missed the cutoff for you know, whatchamacallit, for the Thunderbolts, but it could still be cool to look at and everything. A very interesting like conversation about, much like the movie, about mental health and everything, and in such a fascinating way. This is a really interesting one. So excited to pick through that again. I've read it before, but it's been a very long time. I'm a big Bendis fan, so I had to read Siege as well. I want to read all of his events and stuff like that. He was like I said, really big in Marvel at the time, so he did a lot of impressive work. So really looking forward to this. Apparently he had Miles Morales help him with them. But anyways, the problem is I have to read Dark Avengers first, because this is like the sort of the conclusion of the Dark Avengers stuff. Look at Norman Osborn there. He's like, yeah, man, you gotta read Dark Avengers. But anyways, remember when I said that I had another Secret Invasion tie-in? Here it is. This was like super cheap in my comic shop. I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's see what they're doing here with X-Men and Secret Avengers, or Secret Invasion. I forgot how much I got this for, but I was like, you know what? Why not? So what is this in the back? Hold on. Look at that. Look, I'm glad that I got this. We got autographs from the Fantastic Four. I mean, that's got to be worth like $1 million, right? That's crazy. There's this really good comic shop at my cousin's house. And they have like such crazy deals and stuff. I got that copy of Devil's Reign for like $10 there, which is insane. I was like, I got it, right? so yeah, and then I also got this for like 50% off. So we're getting a compact comic next year, and this is the same price as that compact comic. So I was like, you know what? Darn right, I'm gonna get it. So I've never actually read this. I've experienced the story before, and it's really cool. This is a very foundational and fundamental comic. The fact that Frank Miller wrote this in his late 20s is insane, and he's like 29 or so, and like I read the interview, and he's like, oh, it's about, you know, my concern with death. He was gonna be 30 years old, man. What are you talking about? You know, he's not dying anytime soon. But yeah, very excited. It's a very big book for Batman. You know, obviously Frank Miller's work cannot be overstated as quite brilliant. You know, he sadly is, you know, in his later years, isn't as strong as he was in his prime, but his prime is undeniable. I mean, pick up Ronin and read that if you have any doubts, or even, you know, any of his Daredevil stuff, or even Batman. You know, come on, he's got it, man. This is the only Punisher comic that I have, The Slavers. My friend and I were gonna do a podcast about it. We'll still probably do it eventually, but yeah, I've read a little bit of Punisher Max. It's pretty good. I quite like it, so I'm excited to read more. It exists in a world without heroes, so Punisher is like the extreme answer. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, excited to pick through this. I've picked through it a little bit. I haven't fully read it yet, but I am excited. I'm not like a huge Punisher fan, but I do like the character quite a bit. So I wouldn't mind reading more of Punisher Max. It's pretty good stuff. It's pretty good stuff. I think it's probably still the best Punisher stuff that we've seen. I'm saying this as a guy that hasn't really read any Punisher, but this is a underrated Hulk run by Bruce Jones. This is actually the second volume, so I gotta get the first volume. This is like crazy cheap. It's like super thin. It was like $9. Like what? When is the last time you seen a comic that was $9 that's new? This isn't new. This is from the early thousands, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? This wasn't from like the second-hand store. I bought this new. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, this is some really interesting stuff. The art is really cool too. It's got that very early thousands. Did I just see? All right, let's not go back. Come on. But anyways, so I'm excited to pick for this. I actually got this as I was writing a Hulk thing. I finished the Hulk thing before I even started reading this, so it was kind of pointless. But hey, I'm still looking forward to reading it. I mean, come on, Bruce Jones. I mean, Bruce Banner, Rick Jones. This guy was made to write it. I think there might actually be an epic collection. I don't know if I might be mistaken. I don't know. I vaguely remember seeing something like something Bruce Jones recently in Hulk. So I don't know. But yeah, I haven't actually read a lot of Hulk. I've read Philip Kennedy Johnson's run, which is quite good. And I haven't read all of it. I stopped reading after a while. But I do have issue 27, which is like a standalone issue. I'm looking forward to reading that. I haven't read it yet. But here's another Jason Aaron comic. This is the Curse. This is the follow-up to the God Butcher. So, got Malekith there, underrated Thor villain, but yeah, his work is great. I think it's one of the longest running Thor runs ever, so that's pretty cool too. Classic Infinity Gauntlet. I'm pretty sure I read this as a kid. I have like a digital version of this, but I wanted to get like a physical version. I mean, you gotta for the shelf, and it was only $10. I mean, come on. So I'm excited to read through that. That's gonna be cool. from the from the early 90s and stuff. And yeah, this is obviously pretty pretty important one. And then last and certainly not least, before we get to my one omnibus, we have Deadly Class. I also got this at the comic shop that I was talking about, where I got Devil's Reign for like $10. I was like, you know what, I'm interested in this book, and I'll read the first volume, and then I'll probably, if I like it a lot, I'll probably get the compendium. I was like, I could collect all the volumes. There's like 10 volumes, and I was like, well, I'll just get the compendium, because like that's much worth it. But yeah, I'm really big into Image. I want to read more. I really want to read East of West. I've read a little bit of it, so I'd love to get that one day. But yeah, Deadly Class I'm excited for. There's a TV show for it too, which is cool. But I've not seen that, so I'll read the comic first. Maybe after that I'll watch the show or something. But this is the only compendium that I have. It is Black Cat by Jed MacKay. Really amazing stuff. I'll probably do a video on it eventually too, I would say. I've read the first arc. I've read I need to read the second arc, and then the Iron Cat stuff, which is fun. Sadly, this doesn't have the Mary Jane and Black Cat stuff that Jed MacKay did after this, but that's a trade, and it's a really cheap trade, so it's fine. But yeah, this is some really good stuff. I'm really out of all the omnibuses that I have, I'm glad that I have this one. This is the only one that I have, so I don't know what I'm saying. But yes, and then also I almost forgot too. Speaking of Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, we'll probably do a video on this as well when I read all of the series. But this is Reckless. It's a 5-book series so far. They released it as books, so. I was reading an interview with them saying like this is really like, this is a big book for them. This is really like shaped how they write and do art right now. So that's really good stuff. Very excited for that. I can show you my little like single issue backlog as well. It's probably gonna be really embarrassing, but I've got a lot to catch up on. Let me see if I can carefully get these out of here. Alright, I did not get all of them, but I've not read Ultimate Hawkeye yet. Very much looking forward to that. Newest Ultimate Spider-Man, excited for that too, coming to an end soon. I'm a little behind on Ultimates. I'm pretty sure, yeah, why is this out of order? I have 16 and 15 to read the Shang-Chi one. People get confused and say this is Iron Fist. That's not Iron Fist, that's Shang-Chi, dog. Okay, hold on. Don't get mad at me. I've not read the most recent stuff for Absolute Batman. I'm 4 issues behind, but I'm kind of waiting for the arc to end so I can read it all at once, like I did the first arc. We'll see. I might not do that, and I might just read it. Like I said, I'm behind 2 issues on Moon Knight, but I've heard a lot of really good things about these 2 issues. I mean, it's Moon Knight, man. It's really good. There's the one I was talking about by Philip Kennedy Johnson, number 27. It's a standalone issue, and I've heard it's really good, so I'm looking forward to that. I bought number 1 before I bought Cruel Summer, because I wasn't sure I was going to get Cruel Summer, so I was like, hey, I want to read this, and it's not collected in anything else, so... and then I also have an issue of Criminal that's not collected in anything but the compendiums, which I don't have. So, this is volume 4, or sorry, number 4. This I've heard is really good, too. It's about Tracy Wallace's brother, Ricky, so I'm excited for that. Anyways, let's move on to DC. Alright, now it's time for some DC and a little other stuff too, including of course this Coke bottle. But anyways, so here is the compact comic collection right here. Of course, you know, seen the ranking video, you know that I've read a fair few of these. There's I can point out the new ones as well for this year. So we've got new to this year, we've got Batwoman, we've got The Authority, we've got New Frontier, Kingdom Come, and then Birthright as well, Superman. I got it all nice and organized in this sort of rainbow color and everything like that, so I try to keep that going. I'm eventually gonna run out of space, so I don't know what I'll do after that. I'll have to, maybe I can double stack them, because there's definitely enough room for another stack right here, so that might be the move. But anyways, yeah, so of course we'll be talking about more of these in greater detail and everything in the future, so I'll be doing another ranking on the ones from this year. But, you know, I can sort of go over these a little briefly. This one is amazing. Batwoman, really fantastic, really surprised me. I didn't really know much about Batwoman going in, so this was quite fun. The artwork is amazing, too. We've of course talked about this before, quite good, really enjoyable. Not quite the most like friendly for like new arrivals, because there's like some like stuff that's like, oh, you know, Hush, and you know, Riddler is now you know, a detective and stuff like that, and you know, Dick Grayson is Batman right now. But you know, if you look past that and stuff, it's still a really good read. So they also changed the spines as well. They used to have this symbol, they moved to the classic symbol, so all the new ones have that, and the second printings. I think this is the second printing because it has this. But yeah, I kind of like this better personally, the plain simple one a little more, because I feel like it fits it better. Like this stands out a little too much in my opinion, but I mean it's still good. I mean who cares really at the end of the day. Authority, quite good. Really hoping for that movie. I know that James Gunn recently said that it is indeed still on, which is good, so excited for that. New Frontier, easily one of my favorite comics I've read this year, and one of my favorites in the stack, just in general too. I think it's better than most of the stuff, to be honest, but it is all still really good nonetheless. Wonder Woman, probably the weakest one in this stack, but I just want to see some good Wonder Woman compact comics. I've not read the new one yet, that's the new 52 stuff, but come on, man. Give me something good. This is still good, but she deserves better. Kingdom Come, amazing, really great stuff. I read that really fast. I read I think like an issue or two a day, so I read like half of it in one day because it's only 4 issues long, but they're like 60 something pages. I think it's like a double stack issue basically. Really good stuff, very important DC stuff. Far Sector, pretty darn good. Wish we'd had some more Green Lantern, still none, but Far Sector is cool. Court of Owls, one of my personal favorites, and one of my favorite Batman stories. Hush, a little overrated, but still good. Catwoman, fantastic as well, really great stuff there. Underrated, overrated, underrated. That's why this one is under this one and this one is over that one, because they should be. This one should be. Anyways, but the 2 Superman books we've gotten have been amazing. All-Star is, of course, iconic, and Birthright is a great retelling of the origin by Mark Waid, of course. Here's a stack of Deadpool playing cards, just in case you're wondering. What fell over. But yeah, all rainbowified. I think it gets a little off here, but I like the way that it looks, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, here's the rest of the DC stuff. I've got the Silver Age Supergirl. Pretty fun, very Silver Agey, very silly. It's from the 50s, I think 58 or something like that. So it was really like getting into the grind with the Silver Age. Like I said, very silly. One of the things I love about Silver Age stuff is like it's all very convenient. They just happen to have all this stuff. Like there's like a bit where Supergirl gets adopted by this family that's con artists, and she doesn't really like that, so she tries to con the con artist, and she happens to like make a dummy of this guy that they work with and fool them somehow, and it's very interesting. But and then we've got Woman of Tomorrow, of course, super iconic, newly iconic, I should say. Of course, being adapted very soon too. We'll probably be doing a video on this eventually. I love it. It's fantastic. Superman, ironically, most of the Superman stuff that I've read is alternate reality stuff, so Superman Earth 1 by JMS, really good stuff. Definitely takes the character on a new path and everything. He's definitely younger and everything. More of like a teenage type superhero, which is kind of fun. Then we have New 52 Superman by Grant Morrison. A little bit of a mixed bag in my opinion. I think it's got some really good stuff. I love the Brainiac stuff. I think that's good. I think overall it's just pretty good. But there's some good stuff in here. There's some like I said, Brainiac is really where it heats up. I just read this recently. I don't know if we'll do a video on this. We should do some more Absolute videos. Should we do that? Absolutely. No, but this is fantastic. So I've read a lot of the Absolute books, the first issues of all of most of them, except for Green Lantern and then Superman. I've of course been keeping up with Batman, that's peak. I read the first issue of Flash, I liked it a lot, but I'm waiting for the trade, which is coming out later this year, I believe. I read the first issue of Absolute Wonder Woman. I have the trade, which I haven't read yet, but I will pretty soon, as we've already gone over. I'm recording this like a week later, so I didn't remember that until just a second ago, as I was talking about it. But I never experienced Absolute Superman, and boy was I glad I waited for the trade, because I ripped through it. It's quite good. Not my absolute favorite, but or my favorite Absolute, I should say, but it's still really good, and I like it quite a bit. I'm excited for more, so you can call me a fan of that. It's quite good. So yeah, I've got like 3 Superman books that are like pretty much like not canon. I don't know if New 52. I don't pay attention to DC stuff that often, so you can't ask me what's canon and what's not anymore. But I didn't realize I had this, but I've had this since I was a kid. But this is the first volume of Superman Batman, which is now of course a compact comic.
So I'll get to read the full, well, not the full one, it goes on for quite a while, but I'll be able to read more of it. So I don't remember this at all, but I was looking through it and I was like, that's really cool. I just found it randomly. Obviously, Batman Year One classic. I've not read this in quite a while. I should reread it sometime. I just reread Long Halloween in preparation for our Long Halloween video, so perfect. This is right here, in between Brubaker's Batman and Long Halloween, obviously, is where my copy of Dark Victory would go, but that's obviously not here right now. Batman, Ed Brubaker. I should read this again. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. Definitely Ed Brubaker doing his thing. Probably one of my least favorite Brubakers, to be honest, but I still think it is good, though. I still enjoyed it, nevertheless. This is also a great Scott Snyder book right here, Black Mirror. This is Dick Grayson Batman, not our boy Bruce. Volume 1, Aquaman, Trench, quite good stuff. New 52 is very much a mixed bag, or a mixed bottle, I guess. But I will say New 52, where is it? Oh, New 52 Aquaman is really good. Oh, we already did a video on this. Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, amazing. Want to read more of these? They did 3 Golden Age books when this came out. They did Green Lantern, of course. They did Jay Garrick Flash, and they did Wesley Dobbs The Sandman. So I've heard, I haven't really looked into them too much, but I do want to read them. And yeah, my DC collection is mostly combat comics, but it's okay. I'm not like a massive DC person, but I'm trying to get into it more, and these right here help a lot. This is some spare stuff I just don't really have space for, either that or I just don't care about. But we have Ultimate X-Men. I really don't care about this, to be honest. It's not that it's bad, but I don't know. Not quite my bag. When I'm looking for X-Men, I don't really look towards Ultimate X-Men. This is the old Ultimate X-Men, by the way. I've not read the new one yet, but I would like to one day. Oh, this is kind of cool. This is a little preview book of all of the books that they're releasing for 2018, or sorry, 2028. No, 2018. There we go. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like, I don't think it's actually, no, I don't think it's new books. I think it's actually like, yeah, it's books that they recommend. We can look at this a little bit. Hold on a second. Let's go a little diversion. I'm waiting for Peacemaker right now, so it's okay. I got some time. Got some advertisements for the shows. That's great. I love that. Yeah, just a bunch of like different like cool stuff. Like you got the George Perez Wonder Woman there. You've got Greg Rucka. You've got New 52 right there. Earth 1. There we go. Got all the classics. Yeah, Superman. He's got a little cool little timeline and stuff of how to like read in order. There's Rebirth. Well, I don't know if this is in order, but I guess like the reading order they suggest. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's good stuff. Yeah, there's Aquaman. So it's like these cool like little like recommendations and stuff on like how to read DC, and if I can put this back in there, please. All right, I'll do it later. We're not worried about that bottle. I'm about to punch you into the next dimension. Anyways, so that's pretty cool. This is the last trade paperback of the Fraction and Aha Hawkeye series. At least I think it is. I bought this before I had the collected, the big volume and stuff like that, so I was reading through it and I saw this, like, alright, I'll take this with me on a trip or something. I don't remember the exact context, but yeah. This is really cool. This is another one from my childhood. Blood Ties. It's a Boba Fett book. I guess it has Jango and Boba Fett, as it says there. I don't really read a lot of Star Wars comics anymore. I used to be big on Star Wars comics. I was reading the Jason Aaron Star Wars stuff from like 2015. I kept up with all of that. I read Vader, I read Kanan, I read the Age of Republic, Resistance, you know, all that stuff. Princess Leia, Han Solo, what else? Leia. I already said that. But yeah, I kept on. I did a little Doctor Aphra too as well. I would like to get into that stuff again. It'd be kind of fun, but I know it feels like it's a little mixed. Honestly, it feels like there's some good stuff and there's some like okay stuff, but I wouldn't mind like looking back into some of that stuff. I read Thrawn and everything, so there's a lot of cool Star Wars stuff. I love the stuff that takes place in between episodes, like the mainline Star Wars series. When I was reading it, it was of course taking place in between 4 and 5, and then they jumped to 5 through 6, between 5 and 6, which is cool. I don't know where they are now, but it was cool. And then here's this isn't all of them, but this is all the ones that I have, but not all the ones that exist. But here's my Clone Wars, also from my childhood, the Clone Wars books, the classic ones, before the series existed, I'm pretty certain, so that's pretty cool. Got Obi-Wan on there. Got, I believe, Anakin is on this one. Yep, and then the last one. Oh boy, I'll put that way later as well. Last one is Count Dooku. Yeah. So there we go. That's pretty much all that I got there. I'm not gonna do the floppy single issues unless you guys want me to. I could, but that's only upon request. I won't just do that over my own volition because that would take a lot longer to go through all of that. But anyways, yeah. Let me know what you got in your collection, and everything. And once again, if there's any sort of any of these things that I've shown in this video that you want me to review or talk about in whatever way, let me know, and we'll see you guys soon.